So I may be talking to the wrong crowd here, but be respectful of not only the speaker, but people in the group that have different different viewpoints. And when we go into the networking breakout groups, please participate. That's where you can meet each other. Our speakers, we do not record and we do not give out their slides, so please take notes. Peggy's got some great things to share, so I recommend everybody have paper and pencil or keyboard chat or something like that ready to go. All right. So I can get through that part pretty quick because I want to turn the time over to Peggy. I am really excited that Peggy is going to speak with us today. By the way, we met Peggy through a Connections member. So if you have a great suggestion for a speaker, then reach out to Vinny or I. So let me introduce you a little bit to Peggy, and you'll get to know her more as we go along. She is a presence, productivity, and performance coach. So I guess it's P cubed, right? And she's an author. She leads transformational workshops. She's done that for a number of years. She has extensive experience in delivering programs in the area of communication, sales empowerment, leadership, and customer service. And when you are in job search, we all know that you are selling and the product is yourself, right? And Peggy understands that people like a tailored approach. They don't want just one size fits all. And that's where she's successful because she is really good at customizing to the needs of the clients. And that has resulted in innovation, collaboration, and elevated performance. So we're going to take her ideas to heart, myself included. And she creates, her intent is to create extraordinary experiences that meet and exceed customer expectations. So I know we all have a lot to learn. Peggy, I want to thank you for being here. I'm going to stop sharing so you can share. And we will also spotlight Peggy, so the focus will be on her.
All righty. Thank you for that wonderful introduction, and I'm thrilled to be here. Hi, everyone. Happy holidays. Whatever way you share, that is awesome. And I really want to say thank you to Jennifer. She got me connected here, and I'm very happy about that. And thank you, Sheridan and Vinny. And as Sheridan was speaking, I have, well, I'll tell you, 40 years experience developing this work. And I'm going to be talking specifically about your presence. And presence sounds like, yeah, sure, I know what that is, but we're going to dive into it. And I have developed a process that opens it up so that it's not just, you know, how you show up, it's really your inner and outer game. Okay. And my absolute purpose is to inspire and empower everyone that I work with to show their very best self. And every time they walk out the door, I don't care if you're going to the grocery store. And that's what I'm talking about. It's not identified just with what you wear, it's how you show up. Okay. So two shares and or questions. Okay. All righty, let's begin. So what I'm going to be discussing with you today is how to generate an inner confidence so that when you get in front of somebody for an interview or a business opportunity, your confidence is present. That's the first thing they interact with. And then how to produce a powerful presence, which, as I said, is inner and outer. And then that how do you show up powerfully, even when you're having a bad day? And believe me, we have bad days, right? I had a day and I went, well, you know what? I've got a bigger purpose. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. And the question I have is, what is presence? Presence is for sure self-confidence and poise. By the way, I want you to listen to this as the newest information. So you may know some things, but just set that aside and see if there's anything else that you can glean from this that opens it up and it grounds it for you. Presence is your personal brand and is identified by your image and your body posture. And when you're walking around out in the world there, you can immediately feel somebody's presence. And what I'm talking about is your energy, the way you come about. You can look at people and we already have an idea of who they are, or if we like to talk to them or not talk to them. That's what I'm talking about. Your presence, it's your atmosphere, it's that energy that you bring to the table. And it's your inner game and your most powerful marketing message, bar none. And I ask you, are you representing the best of you every time you go out to meet with somebody? Are you bringing your A game to the table? You think about that as we go. So your inner game. So how do we go about that? And this is where I dive in and developed a process, but it's your core values. Where you know your core values, you have command of yourself and you can have command of anywhere you're walking into a room. Your core values: dignity, integrity, communication, relationship. What is it? So when you know your core values, you're grounded. That's your sacred ground. That's the ground that you can rely on, and they're non-negotiable. So when I walk into the room, if I'm feeling that, having my dignity and integrity and I feel good, and we break this down as we work together so that when you walk in, these are your values. Um, then when I know that, I am, in command of the room. When I don't, no one knows I'm even there. Okay. So also your inner game comprises your moods, your attitudes, your emotions. So you want to get a clear mind before you leave the door. And what is your purpose? Anytime I'm going to be in any situation, I go, what do I want to accomplish? What is my purpose? What's the end result I'd like to produce? So once I get that, and then I clear anything that can get in the way of that. Sometimes I may have to have a conversation with someone. I'm going to be presenting. I have this big thing to do. I just need to just say what's on my mind so I can get it out of my way. Okay. Your well-being practices. You want to show up rested and present. And even if you don't take care of yourself, you still need to keep your purpose in mind and take care of yourself so that when you walk in, you're present. And then, as I said, set your intentions for the day. What is your purpose? What do you want to, what is your ambition here? What do you want to walk away feeling? All right. Any questions at the moment about this? Anybody want to raise their hand and ask the question? Anything? All right. I'm trusting Sheridan. You'll let me know.
I'll let you know. I don't see any right now.
But I'm with you. And your inner game really, really, really is your mindset. That is your biggest, most fabulous tool that you have access to. And you can clear your mind if it's meditation, if it's prayer, if it's taking a walk, if it's exercising. What is it? Keeping your intention clear. What is it that's going to keep your mind peaceful other than what you see here on the screen? And I'm saying,
Peggy?
please, oh, yeah, David.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I did ask a question, but yeah, I guess it wasn't received.
No.
I was just wondering in the core values, if you could give like an example, like for example, I know for myself, I often have like imposter syndrome walking into a room, and I'm just wondering like how, and I'm like flooded with a lot of signals and like fears. How do you kind of address that, or like how do you
Well,
use a core value to address that?
that's a great question, David. The thing is, that's more of your core values, for example, are your dignity. So if you take if you do something that goes against how you feel, your dignity, if it betrays you in any way, that's a core value, and that's something to keep in mind. What you're speaking about, I think, is about clearing your mind. Your mind, who doesn't wake up with things on their mind like already you haven't even gotten out of the bed and something's wrong? That's what our human brain does. It goes in review and tells, especially when there's something like a job offer or something on the line, our mind will go crazy with that. So am I addressing what you're asking here, David?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So the practice I have, I know I wake up in the morning, I'm like, all right, what's wrong? And something's going on. I go, that's just my mind. I just let it go. And then I focus on what do I get very clearly focused on what do I want to accomplish. Let your mind just, those are just mind cookies. They're just going to keep going, but just stay present and stay on track with what you want to accomplish.
Got
This
it. Thank you.
Yes, and this is something I do with my clients is to go through that exercise so that they get very peaceful about all that when they walk into the room. All that'll still go on, but you're not engaged with it. That will stop you. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you for that question. And then showing up with confidence requires that you also have to, you see, I say you're leaving money on the table if you don't consider this part, this being, this walking in, this physical part of you is not part of your success. It is your best calling card. So you want to make sure that your inner game's handled, but you also want to make sure that the physical part of you is handled. Every detail plays. Every detail matters. If I am not dressed right, so it goes like this, my mood is off. Okay, what can I do to shift my mood? I will dress myself so that I show up more confidently. There's a lot that I'm saying here, so I know it may be a little bit confusing, but what I'm saying is, you want to make sure that everything you put together, your mindset, how you show up in your physical appearance, all show your best self, even if you don't feel it. Allow that to lead the way. All right. Your body posture, if you're having a bad day, your body posture may also be affected. That's when you want to say, okay, I'm having a bad day, but I have a bigger purpose here. So you want to just put yourself in your mind, what kind of posture do you want to have? And you've seen people walking like the life is on top of them. But if you're walking into again, and I'm going to say something that's going to sound a little funny, but fake it till you make it. Show up. You're going to go on stage. You want to show your best self, even if you don't always feel it, but do it. Your eye contact, you want to keep good eye contact. You don't want to be looking all around. There's more on this slide that I will show later. Energy and attitude. This again is just bringing some good energy to it. The biggest thing that will keep you in good shape is what is it you want to accomplish? Your purpose. What do you want people to know, like, and trust about you? And focused and attentive listening. Many times when you've probably been with people where you're talking and they can't wait to chime in. What you want to do is just stay focused and be attentively listening, and then then write notes, and then you can speak about what you want to ask or address. And then your attire, be appropriate to the role. I don't think you have to always wear a suit. It depends on the role you're taking, but you also want to make sure you show up well dressed. Okay, and there's more to say about that. What do you think of this gentleman? Is he ready to go for a powerful interview? Yes, no, no, yes, yeah.
No.
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 And this is where his body posture, he's like kind of holding his breath, or it's the attention to detail on his clothing. It's okay if he's not shaven. I'll show you an image in a minute, but he's not showing up powerfully. You can see the contrast. Now, again, I'm not suggesting you have to wear a suit, but look at the difference between the two gentlemen and their attitude and their feeling about themselves. You don't know what he's really thinking or feeling, but he shows up like he's a leader. All right. This is the power of body language, and it's pretty powerful. And I don't have this to give away, but you might want to take some notes. Like 67% of hiring managers cite lack of eye contact as the biggest mistake candidates can make. It looks like they're not paying attention or not interested or all the other assessments that could be made. 26% of applicants in an interview get rejected because they fidget too much. They're nervous, and they're moving around. I use a lot of hand gestures, so I've been told recently that people are watching my hands rather than listening. Okay. So, and then 21% of interviewers will reject candidates who have a weak handshake. This is something you can practice with friends. You don't want to squeeze their hands off. You also don't want to be too soft in them. Okay. Again, these are practices that I help with my clients. So there's more to this, giving you a broad brush stroke over it. 39% of interviewers are put off because the candidates forget to smile. So that's keep that in mind when you're working here when you're interviewing. And I've shown this slide over and over and over. You can see the eye contact, lack of smile, body posture, crossing your arms. Looks like you're not interested. There is a way, and then too many hand gestures. Please, did somebody have a question?
Well, then
I'm sorry.
I think we're getting a choppy response. I think Peggy will wait. Let Peggy finish this and she'll stop for questions.
Okay. So this is the point of this slide. The point is a major part of the impact that we make is through our appearance. That is the way you dress, your body posture, your hand gestures. That is a major part, and it's your physical presence. So you want to make sure before you leave the door that you've got everything considered, even down to the manicure on your hands, the choice of clothes you wear, those things. 38% of the impact that you make is your voice, the confidence that you show. 7% is what you say. And if you think about it, you think about somebody that you just met, what you're really doing is you're assessing what you see, judging and evaluating based on how they look. And then there's the tone of their voice. You might forget what they've said, everything, but all the things that they said, but you will remember them. Yeah, that was a great person. I loved working with them. The thing about the 7% is, see, all of this, the physical appearance needs to be so in line that when you speak, they want to listen. All right. And back to your voice presence. The tone of your voice, the power of your voice makes a difference. If you have a soft voice, it can be misconstrued. It could be misunderstood as not confident. Or if you apologize too much or that kind of thing, or there's this way you apologize in the tone of your voice. So you want to speak up, speak clearly, speak with confidence, and speak powerfully. And that's another body of work that we do. If you have I had a client that was very soft-spoken, and she couldn't understand why she wasn't getting accepted for different roles. Until we started working with her on her voice and everything else, she then started speaking with more confidence. She didn't raise her voice or deepen her voice, but she brought more confidence to it and more focus to what she was saying. And just as we're doing now, your video presence is important. It makes a difference. So are you camera ready? And when I sit in front of the camera here, I'm not just putting on, my sweats at the bottom here. I am dressed for the day. I am dressed as if I'm meeting with you in person. And I suggest you do the same, but also make sure your background and everything is ready to go when you're online and there's no distractions. You don't have your cell phone distracting you. You turn it away. You wouldn't do that if you were in an interview. You wouldn't take your phone and be distracted. If you were, they would probably dismiss you as a candidate. But you want to make sure you have all your distractions handled. You have your tea or your water, you are well dressed, you're present, you're focused with the people out here rather than the little boxes over here and see how you look. There's a whole business called Zoom dysmorphia where people have a distorted view of themselves. So they're always fussing with themselves rather than being present when they're online with another. And the best thing you can give a person is listening to them, is to being attentive. And we all want to be heard. We all want to be seen. We all want to be valued. So you want to give that to the people that you're online with, just as we are now. So, and there's some mistakes that people have made. And you may have seen this with people where their focus is just on their eyes or on different parts of their body, or you see the lighting is not great. Again, the point of this is you want to show up powerfully. This is the power of your presence, and you want to make it so that you show up the way you'd like to be perceived. Your video presence really does matter. And as you can see, that's a very happy group that's ready to go. I'm looking for something. And consider your background and everything you wear, attention to all the details, because it does play. It does translate to people. Here's some tips that you can consider when you're interviewing online. Your environment, having your video background and sounds. And I'll, there I see a few people with some backgrounds now, which is fine, but there are some backgrounds that do a little ghosting, and so that can be a little distracting. Your appearance, devices, make sure you have good reception. Check that before you get online. Your lighting, you might have to adjust it. The camera angles, are you too close, too far, or far away? Do you have a good profile photo? And then also make sure all distractions are out of the way, including, and I've seen this, people walking by or cats walking across the keyboard or a dog sitting there. You want to have all that taken care of, because just as if you were in front of the person personally, you wouldn't have any of that. And then facial gestures. You might want to practice in the mirror. I say do some mirror work as to how you laugh, how you listen, how you this or you that. So doing a lot of mirror work, but also making sure you're not touching your face. And this is where you're trying to adjust yourself. It's very distracting. And then I can't stress this enough, but you want to prepare and rehearse. Test your connectivity. Do your homework about the company. Who are you meeting with? What are they about? What is their culture? Get all that you can get before. I was in high tech in the Bay Area. I am now in Portland, Oregon. And in the Bay Area, we had customers. I was a director at the briefing center, which is where we host a lot of customers. And I had a team. And before any of our customers came in, I had our team know who's in the house, what are they about, so that we can better serve them. With respect to interviewing, you want to know so that you get an overview, and they think, okay, this person has done their homework. This is somebody that I want to, employ or have on my team. All right. Any questions about this?
Peggy, I've got 3 questions in the chat, so we're going to start there.
Right.
first, Carlita had her hand up a little bit ago and I missed her. So
Okay.
Carlita, go ahead and unmute and then I'll read you the 2 questions in the chat.
All right.
Actually, Peggy answered the question, so that's why I put my hand down. So we're okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I just felt bad I'd missed you.
No problem.
Katie has a question back on an earlier slide. Katie, do you want to unmute and ask your question?
Oh, I just wanted to, it was the
Um, in a video interview, does it matter if you're sitting or standing? Does that affect energy? And then the second one, I'm just going to tell you both of them and you can order them. I wear really high-powered glasses. Would it be better to use contact lenses in an interview, especially if it's virtual?
Very good questions. Okay, let's see. Let me take the first one, which is, I would say they
Sit or stand?
Yeah. So this, well, here's the thing. I was looking at that today too, because I often stand when I present, but I chose to sit, and I did a lot of rehearsing beforehand. So that's what I did. But my energy was good. I felt okay doing this. Whatever, if you are presenting like I am, you might want to stand. However, if you're able to present and be present and have a good posture, you can sit. There's no rule on this particular thing. Okay. And then the other was the glasses or contacts. The thing that I don't think there's any problem with you having high-powered glasses. Is there a glare on the glasses? Does it take away from your face and being present with you? That's the question I would have.
Okay. And one more, Peggy, I promise we're going to move on. But Romy asked an interesting question. At what point does confidence bleed over into arrogance? And how do you avoid that?
Love. So that's a great question. Confidence really, and I had a slide here that I want to say that confidence is really knowing your stuff, not being arrogant about it, being like, I know my stuff. But when you say bleeding over to arrogance, it's because you're trying to impress. If you're trying to be too bustier or too impressive, then you might want to consider stepping back from that. Is that making sense, what I just said?
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't want to lose yourself to try to be bigger than you are. Just be yourself. Authenticity is being who you are and not who you're trying to be or trying on something else. Confidence is knowing your stuff and bringing your qualities to the table. Being able to speak for yourself. You're selling yourself, as Sheridan said earlier. It's you that you're marketing yourself. So be confident in what you say without being over boasty. You don't have to pretend. Just know who you are, be authentic, and that's where confidence comes in. When you're being authentic. When you're being disingenuous, people can feel that. And again, I go back to your presence, which is your energy field. If you're trying to fool somebody, they won't know what it is, but they'll go, there's something about that person. No. But if you just be authentic, know your stuff, and speak well of yourself, then confidence plays well.
Thank you, Peggy. One more question that came in that's kind of related to this slide. Are you willing to take it before we move on?
Please.
Okay. This is from Adebashish. What's your advice on using earphones versus headphones during a video interview?
Again, I would say test your equipment. And before I got on the call with you, Sheridan, I said, can you hear me okay? And I will test it out with other people. So if I do have headphones, I do have earbuds, but I also test it out before I get on the call with somebody. Of course, the point is you want to make sure they hear you clearly and without and then again, make sure you test your devices so there's not any spotty breaking up, are you hardwired or are you on wireless? What is it? So.
Thanks, Peggy. You can carry on.
Oh, can I? Anyway, so thank you. So thank you for the questions. I do appreciate all of that. And the thing is, the point is, be yourself, bring yourself to the table, be authentic. And if you have to, have a little chat with yourself before you leave the door, do it so that because the point is, get every detail handled before you leave the house. Everything. Are you taken care of? Are you rested? Do you have your lunch packed? Whatever it is. Do you have have you taken care of your grooming so that when you leave the door, there's no attention on you? It's all about being out here with other people, particularly when you're interviewing. You want to be so present and so clear, even if this is the next slide, even if you're having a bad day. That's the challenge. Can you show up powerfully when life is going upside down from time? I mean, if it's so upside down, you probably should call off the interview if you can't be present, if you're distracted. But, and I'm saying interview, anytime you meet with anyone. But if you can just shift your mood, and this is where you do a lot of work on your mindset. Not all the things that you're thinking are true. They're not. Like, I'm stupid. You're not. You might have said something that didn't work out, but you're not. I mean, just stop defining yourself by that internal dialogue. I'm not smart enough to do this. No, that's not true. That's all not true. It's just thoughts that come across. Stand in your power, even when you're having a bad day. And believe me, I walk out, if I have anything going on, it's going to show up when I'm out there with you. So I get clear beforehand. And the biggest thing to get clear about is, what is my purpose? What do I want to accomplish? What do I want people to be left with when I leave this door? What do I want to be inspired by? What do I want to inspire people with? What do I want to have my life be about? All right. That is what I have to say about this. But there's one other thing. This is where the mind also wants to say, well, I failed on that. No, it probably wasn't the right opportunity, or maybe you just need to make some adjustment. Okay, what did I say or do that I need to shift now or correct so that I don't do that again? And as Winston Churchill, can't get it out, success consists of going from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. Again, I'm talking about your mindset. Make sure you clear your mind. And if at first you don't succeed, try again. It's a lesson, it's a learning experience. And, failure is just another opportunity to step to your strengths. Any questions here? Because I'm just about finished with my presentation and I'd like to have some questions or anything about this? No. All right. Questions? Thoughts?
Feel free to hit the raise hand. That's the best thing to do at this moment, and ask some questions. Peggy, I want to ask you one question while people are raising their hands. I see they're going up. When you have, you get rejected from a job or you feel like the interview didn't go well, what can you do? One or two concrete things to kind of pick yourself back up.
All right. So I take an internal review. I write down some of the things that I say didn't work. I go, well, I could have done better there. Okay, what could I have done better? And then it becomes another teaching opportunity. I may also clear with somebody, a trusted advisor, somebody that I know who's just going to listen and go, I got it. That's, I will clear my mind, because the main thing that I'm committed to is workability. And we're going to trip. We're going to say things. We're going to do things that aren't, and I'm sure I'm going to be reviewing what I've done today. And of course, my mind is going to say, well, you should have said this or you should have said that. I go, okay, well, I didn't. And this is what I said. And is there an opportunity to correct that? Yes, I can do, maybe not with you all, but I can, all right, I should say this next time. Make yourself right. You're okay. You're gonna say things and you're gonna trip, but that's what I do is I stop, I take a few minutes, I clear my mind, I write things down, and I may also have a conversation with somebody that can help me clear myself.
Thank you. Okay, go ahead and call on the people who have their hands raised.
I'll talk to Carlita.
What about taking notes during an interview?
I think it's great. You should take notes, just as long as you're paying attention. And you might just say, thank you. I'm going to take a note, that's a very good question. That's very this. Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Katie.
So I was wondering, your thing says you can't always have a good day, but you can always face a bad day with good attitude. You have any tricks or tips? And you said this morning you weren't having that great of a morning, but what did you do? Did you put on that great necklace that you have on? Is that what you did?
I went, it's a celebrate. Yeah. I don't let myself be convinced by what's not working for me. I go, okay, what can I do? So I dressed, I put the fabulous necklace on. I sat quietly and took deep breaths, and I got quiet. and remember that I know what I'm doing and I know who I am. And I just allow myself, and again, my bigger purpose is to serve others, to serve, to be available to others. And that's why I sit and get quiet. I don't want my stuff to get in the way. And sure, I get nervous. I trip on my words. I'm a human being. I'm as authentic as you can get. And I have a bigger purpose, and that is to be here with you. So I always sit quietly. I dress myself. I put a little extra attention on it, if you will, and then I just get quiet. I hope that
Thank
addressed.
you.
Yes,
Yeah, I like that. I like your necklace. Sorry.
thank you.
I like jewelry. What can I say?
Yeah, thank you. You got good taste. Uh-huh. And also keep your humor about you. Come on, this is we're not curing cancer here. All right, David.
Hello.
Hi, David.
I'm currently reading the new Arnold Schwarzenegger book, and it's called Be Useful. And I was wondering if you have any book recommendations or authors that you would recommend.
Ah, oh, I wasn't prepared so much for that, but I am going to. Sheridan, so I have a couple books that I read. Let's see, hold on just a second. There's one that I've been reading called The Last Word on Power. It's about leadership. And by the way, leadership is not just reserved for those people in that position. You are your own leader. You want to lead yourself. So a book on leadership would be awesome because it gives you the distinctions of what does it take to be the successful leader that others are. And you have a natural ability to be a leader. And if you think about different things in your life, you might experience like, oh yeah, I'm a leader in my family. I'm a leader in my business. I'm a leader in that. So that's one. I don't have it ready at hand to say what it is, but Sheridan, if I put a list together, can you?
I can send it out. Yes.
Thank you. That's
okay. So we'll definitely do that. I think Alex was next.
Yeah, Alex.
Hi. I think this may be relevant to many people here in Silicon Valley. In terms of presence, when the interview teams are much younger, has less experience in that situation, any advice for those kind of interviews?
So let me see if I understand what you're saying. You are interviewing with a group of less experienced, maybe younger generation. Is that what we're saying?
Yep.
Well, the best thing you can bring to it is just your expertise and your authenticity. I wouldn't be too wrapped up in their lack of experience or their age, their gender. I would just present yourself, present who you are, what you know, and let it be. I don't know, a situation. Have you been recently interviewing with that?
Yeah, I'm in tech, right? A lot of the tech companies are led by much younger folks, and I think it's not so much the interviewees, maybe the interviewers may have concerns of having people much older to reporting to them. Yeah, it's that kind of situation.
I know it is. Well, let's see, relevancy. What would be relevant? What could you bring to that party that would be a contribution to add to what they're doing? I mean, without being I don't know if it's insulting, but it's just really just what's relevant to their concerns, And what do you bring to the table that would address those relevance, the things, their concerns, and let it be there. I know that's an issue, that there's a whole different generation in high tech but you bring wisdom, you bring something that they probably are looking for and don't know.
Yeah, and other candidates, you have to something that's, there's multiple people they can pick and choose, are all qualified, right? It's and some are more in that age group, where others are much older. So in those situations, yeah.
Well, just bring your relevancy, your
Yeah.
expertise, and how you can be a contribution to what their concerns are.
Yeah, got it. Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Carrie, I think.
Yeah.
Carrie's next.
Carrie, please.
To follow up on the taking notes question, do you have anything to say about recording the interview? Just pressing or activating an app on your cell phone, putting it on the table. Is it best to just say, I'm planning to record this session to make sure I pick up the points, or is it better to ask, do you mind if I record this interview? Or is that, should that just be out of the question? You never record an interview.
Well, it's a sensitive situation, but it's your interview, and you can say to them, may I record this session so that I can review it a little bit later. And I want to make sure I grasp all the points. If they're okay with that, yes. But I would always ask. I would love to record. Is it okay if I record this? And why I want to record this is so that I can review it and capture the points. I probably would do that. Normally, I would say I wouldn't do that. I would just be right there with them, because it may make them think that it may not work for you in your behalf, on your behalf. I would probably just leave that out. Did I just confuse you by saying two things? Hello.
Well, I heard always ask if you're planning to record the interview, to keep things fresh in your mind, to hopefully convey that, this interview is important to you. But does it, on the other hand, indicate some kind of insecurity, or that?
That way, it could. Here's what I would do: is you can certainly ask, but I would probably not recommend it.
Great, thank you,
Okay,
Peggy.
what if we just want to use speech to text app just to help us understand what they're saying, just not necessarily record the whole interview, but if we just want to use a captioned app like Otter to help us with the comprehension?
Again, I would probably not recommend it, because it again puts a little question in their mind.
But what if you have a disability?
Yeah,
you need to.
That's a whole different thing. I think this conversation has a deeper conversation that wants to happen, but in respect of the others and the time and the questions, if we could just leave this one for the moment, is that all right with you? Okay.
That makes sense. Okay, it's Priya and then Burton.
All right.
Hi, Peggy. It's first of all great to hear your presentation. Really look forward to more such interactions. Thank you, Noah. My question is, I usually tend to come across as a really soft spoken, like in the interviews, and I've been trying to make an attempt to sound more loud and clear, but at the same time, it's a little unnatural for me to talk at this voice. So do you have any tips for improving that? Being consistent, not just breaking up or sounding like I'm chewing my own words. And I have two questions, Peggy. The other one, sorry about that. The other one is how to keep the momentum going in the job search process, like and not lose hope.
How to not lose hope.
Yeah.
That's a whole other class.
Thank you.
That's a good one though. Okay, well, that's it. Here's the thing, we could work together. I'm gonna offer you all a complimentary session, 45 minutes. So if you want to take that opportunity, and there's no selling on it. It's just, you'll walk away with, and I can work with you on that one. The thing about your voice, I would say do this, record your voice. Get on a Zoom, set up a Zoom or set up a conversation with somebody, record your voice, record, and you listen. Now, have the other person that's on the call with you listen and say, oh, you came across clear. But get somebody that isn't just your family member said, oh yeah, you sound good. You got to have somebody that's objective. When I listen to you, I don't have a problem listening to you. Again, I want to alert you all that your mind is not always your best friend. It's a powerful tool, but it's not always your best friend. So you want to make sure, check yourself out with somebody else that you can trust. That's going to say, I think you sound fine. And if you want to talk more about hope, we can do that and schedule a private session with me, and it's complimentary, and I'd be happy.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks. Thanks so much.
All right, Burton.
Yes, Burton. So Peggy, thank you so much for your very fabulous presentation. Right. So I always heard about presence, but I never knew what it was. So really, thank you for that. So I have two questions. Right. So these are situations I've encountered in the past. I mean, usually in a long past. Right. But I want to bring it up because it was an issue for me. Question number one: how to handle interviews with future subordinate, because you are going to be a leader in this team and you're interviewing by the subordinate. Yet it's not sure you're going to get the job, but these are the people who will be reporting to you, right? So how do they handle that? That's question number one. And then question number two, this also is a real situation. You have an interview, and usually an interview is formal, right? You go greeting each other and then talk about yourself, but you walk to this interview, and right from meeting the interviewer in the hallway, you can sense that things are not right? And then you get in the room, there is no greeting, nothing. It's like, okay, what you've got, pretty much that kind of situation. So how do you handle that when you start off the rail like that? So those are the two questions I had, Peggy. Thank you.
Let's see if I got it. So let me answer the last one. So you don't feel the energy, things not right in the interview, and it just feels off. Is that what we're hearing? Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'll be transparent with you. There was a moment when I was presenting and I thought, I'm not getting it across. I go, just stop thinking about it. What I do is I stay present. I stay present. So I get out here. If I'm in my head, forget it. But when I'm out here, so it may not be what you think it is. It could be that it's not even what you think it is. It could be just, that's how they interview. And you don't take it on. Don't take it on. Just you stay present, keep presenting yourself. And if it's a win, great. If it's a fit, great. If it's not, perfect. Move on. Move on. Don't linger. Okay. The first question was, again, please remind me, Burton.
Being interviewed by future subordinates.
Oh, they're just people. And you know what? You do your best. Show your best self. It's a subordinate. You want to show your best self. Always show your best self. Don't matter who it is. Does that make sense?
Thank you, Peggy.
They're just people here. And you just keep being consistently, authentically, confidently you.
I love it. Peggy, we have time for two more questions, and I know many people have their hands up, but we have a hard stop.
Let me have
Tom and then Belinda, our last two questions.
All right, Tom, let's have.
I lower my hand. It's okay. I got the answer.
Okay, Belinda.
Hello. You're on mute, Belinda.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll try and be quick so someone else can get a question. And it's similar to what you said before, but sometimes in an interview towards the end, the question is, what can you tell us about your last employer? Or why were you let go? What happens if that's an energy suck for you and you don't want to really talk about it because there was a complexity in the ending? Do you have a pat response that's still authentic, that can see the face you just made, Peggy? That's what would happen to me. I'd kind of go, oh, well, let me see, because I worked at this company for 8.5 years, but the ending was a very unfortunate. Don't even want to go into it. So how do you discuss that briefly without dwelling?
Details. I wouldn't discuss the dirt of it or whatever the upset about it. I would say it was time for me to move on to the next level. It was time.
Ooh, that's great.
Yes, and that's all it is, because the truth
Thank
is,
you.
scrape away all the assessments and the bad stuff that happened and everything. It was time for you to move on.
Yes, thank you very much.
Welcome. All right, is there one more question?
There is, and we're going to go to Pinar. Last question.
All right, thank you.
Thanks for giving this opportunity. So I have a question about how to ask a question back to the interviewer. Like if we didn't understand well, or if you mention first what we understood to clarify, but I'm sometimes feeling that I can mess up. So is it good to ask, can you repeat your question, or how can we ask this?
Let me understand. So here's what I do, and it's always putting it in a more positive spin, if you will. Let me understand what you just said. Say that, something like that. I would like to understand more clearly what you said. Could you just please say that again? I'm giving you examples, by the way. That's what I would do. I'd like to understand a little bit more about that. Could you please say that again? Or, you know, along those lines. Does that address what you're saying, Pinar?
Yeah, thank you. So if if I'm trying to clarify, I can mess up sometimes. So that's good to ask then. Okay, thank you.
So I just want to clarify what you said. So would you please say it, repeat it again? I'd like to just clarify that for myself. There's nothing wrong with saying that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay, Sheridan, how are we doing?
We are good. Let's see. Can we take one more? Talk about this, and then let's see if we have time for that very last question.
Okay. Talk about this particular slide I put up?
Yes.
Okay. So as I said, I offer you a 45-minute complimentary private session. I want to empower you. I really have that that's my concern, you know, my purpose here is to empower you. So in that 45 minutes, you will get a personal presence profile. We'll go through the values and all the different things that I just spoke, and you'll walk away with that in hand, and you'll have a better idea of how to have a more powerful presence for yourself. Every slide that I address, we will address in the 45, well, most of the slides I will address in the complimentary session. There is no sales beyond that unless you want to go further. And I have an exclusive offer to NovaWorks, but we can talk about that in your private session if you decide you want to do that. To schedule that, you know, you might want to capture this on, you can just go to this link, which is my scheduling tool, and schedule your 45-minute session. And I would love to work with you and empower you to get your best self out there and to be in a position in your life where you're having a lot of good results.
Oh, Peggy, that is so generous of you. We are at 11 o'clock, and I know there's people who did not get their questions asked, but we have an offer that we normally don't get from Peggy. So please be mindful of that. And Peggy, we so much appreciate all your comments. As someone who works with people who are preparing for interviews, I do know that confidence really can be one of the things that sets you apart. So it is something to dive into, and also career advisors could work with you on that. So any final words, Peggy, before we let you go and go to break?
Yeah. Be brilliant, because you are. And also what I would say is confidence, the root of confidence is authenticity. Just bring your skills, your best self to the table, and let everything else follow. It's been a joy to work with you. Thank you for your attention today. Thank you, Sheridan. Thank you.
You are welcome.
Thank you, Peggy.
Thank
We're
you, Peggy.
so excited you
Thank
came,
you.
and we're
Thank you
going to
so
ask
much,
you
Peggy.
back. Okay, everyone, we're going to a 5-minute break. Peggy gets to leave, and we will resume at 11:05. Take care, everyone. Come back at 11:05.
Thank you, Peggy.
Thanks, Peggy. You were great.
Thank you.
Peggy.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Sheridan, I'm going to leave the call.
Of course. Thanks. Bye, Peggy. We have about 1 minute before we start moving on. All right, everyone, as we come back, I just want to let you know that I have turned on chat so that you can network with people, put questions to each other. So just FYI, that is on and available to you. As we do when we first come back after the break, we start with a job search tip. And today we have Ben, one of our career advisors in Sunnyvale. And I'm going to share the screen, and then Ben's going to take us through his job search tip. So there it is. Okay, Ben, it's officially your time.
All right, thank you, Sheridan. Hi, everyone. Hope everyone's had a good morning. Sounded like the speaker from this morning did a really great job. I just wanted to talk a little bit about routines. I think maybe likely that most of us have heard of the benefits of a routine, probably are aware of why we might want to, why when you're searching for work and there's a lack of structure, to your day specifically, each day when you wake up and you're trying to figure out what to do, the benefits of a routine, how it can help you really be more productive and intentional in your job search. And then I just wanted to pitch a sample routine for you all to see that I found on a blog that I think was really helpful. You can go ahead to the next slide, Sheridan. That might give you some ideas about a routine that works for you. So just a little bit on routines. Again, the main benefit of it is it can take you of having a consistent schedule for your activities every day. It can help you feel more productive, I think, enhance your confidence a little bit. And, I think one of the losses that a lot of people feel when they lose a job is like the sense of being productive each day and of accomplishing things. And I like just the routine in that it also helps you approach your job search intentionally. Like you're directing what's going on. You're choosing what you're going to do, as opposed to the other way around, where like your day is happening to you, where maybe you do things on an as needed basis, otherwise you'll miss an opportunity. So just again, to review, I think probably for many people about the benefits of a routine. I have 4 different tasks on there that I think are nice to include in a routine every day. And so my tip or my recommendation would be, if you do have a routine, to try and include these 4 different kinds of activities. 1, researching new job postings, of course, on your job boards of choice. Finding what's being posted there, spending a little time researching target companies as well. We have a workshop on identifying target companies. There's an awesome tool called A to Z databases that we walk through that helps focus your search by company, and how that changes your mindset a little bit and can help you discover new companies that you're unfamiliar with. Networking, of course, and I think sometimes realistically for this, devoting time in your routine to networking could just be being active on online job boards, or I'm not job board, job forums, or making posts on LinkedIn about a topic that you're interested in, or contributing to a group online. Of course, trying to find different job fairs or networking events in the community as well. But I would just encourage you that sometimes the networking piece could just be about making a presence online for a certain topic or a certain industry. And then lastly, skill development. So I think it's a really nice feeling each day to feel like you're enhancing your ability in something than maybe you had before. So let's go into the example, if you don't mind, for the next slide. Okay, I hope that's big enough for everyone to see. This is a sample routine from 8 to 3 every day. I found this on a blog. The source here is from a website called virtualvocations.com. I just wanted to go through it because I thought it was a really nice way. If you're someone who could really benefit from structure, maybe you can try to take this as is. If you have your own routine that you like, then maybe you can pick and choose different parts of it that look good to you. Essentially, it starts at 8 every day, 8 in the morning. Get up nice and early. Start out with a morning kickoff. You have breakfast, get settled into your workplace, your office, maybe at home. And then at 8:30, you begin by setting your intentions. So writing down goals for the day, like these are the number of applications I want to send. You're kind of just focusing your mind on a bite-sized goal for the day. Maybe identifying people you might want to reach out to. Then they give 45 minutes for researching job postings at 8:45. It could also go into researching new companies, so figuring out what's available, finding interesting positions. You take a break at 9:30, take a little break for yourself, and then at 9:45, you go into customizing and applying to these jobs that you've researched. It's also mentions the practice we recommend for tweaking your application materials per position. And then right before lunch, you've done a little bit of networking as well. So at 11:15, it recommends, okay, see what you can to maybe engage in online discussions or connect with people that that you might know, reach out to them maybe on LinkedIn or other methods. And then lastly, after lunch, you do a little skill enhancement, maybe take an online course at 1 o'clock or watch videos to enhance yourself, take a break. And then at 2 o'clock, send follow-up emails for previous applications or just organize yourself from what you did today. So I just wanted to pitch that. Thought it might be interesting for y'all to see that. Maybe some of you who are thinking about a routine or again would benefit from seeing a full one in action. I thought this was a nice example of a schedule you could give yourself that would hit those 4 different areas each day. So that's what I had. That's my tip for today.
Thank you so much, Ben. When I teach managing change, one of the losses that people say they experience most is the loss of structure. So you just provided a structure. We have one question and then we're moving on. And I'll tell you one thing we're going to do. So Esfinar, go ahead with your question for Ben.
Sure. Can you guys email this slide?
I will have him give it to me in a format that we can send out. And then if Peggy gives her book suggestions, we'll do it all at once. Yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah, this is a good slide. Thank you very much.
Now, I am going to issue a challenge. A challenge is if you are interested in following this routine for 1 week, and reporting back, we're going to have a little session about that. So in the chat, if you are willing to take this challenge and follow this routine for 1 week, tell us how it impacted your job search. I would love that. So put your name in the chat if you're interested in the challenge. Okay, thank you, Ben. Appreciate it. All right, we're going to move on. I want to make sure we always get to networking. Just a quick reminder about NovaWorks Job Connector. We do have virtual labs, so we have a lot of videos online, but if you have other questions and want to just work with people, Vinny and Ben are the ones who do those sessions. So feel free to sign up for the Job Connector virtual lab. All right. Do we have anyone here that would like to announce that they got a job this week? No. Okay, we're going on to the next one. I do know one person that got a job, but she is not here today, but I'm happy for her. Anyone, a step to success? Did you do something that you feel is going to move you forward in your job search? Do we have anybody who'd like to talk about that?
This is Carlita. I went through all of my job profiles and LinkedIn and basically carbon copied what I put in the NovaWorks Job Connector, and I'm getting a lot more traction. So everything is matching now.
You know what? And that's a very important thing because recruiters will look at all the places you are online with what you submit, make sure things match up and are consistent. So thank you. Good to hear that, Carlita. Anyone else? Okay, I'm going to talk about a step two. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Yes, this is Burton. So I attended the informational meeting session, right? And I used those tips. And I have 2 follow-ups, actually. Yes, so they seem to be interested. So I had on both positions, 2 different companies. I went on the second stage. So I started with the recruiter, and now I'm starting. The second step is the HR recruiter now. So things are getting more serious. And then from there, if things go well, I will move to the engineering manager for both.
Oh,
yes, so
that's great to hear. And Burton, you said something that's really important. You can take the concepts from informational meetings and use them in actual meetings. So that is fabulous. Thanks for sharing. Jovanka, you have your hand up.
Yeah, are we in the networking part?
Not yet. Hold on. Oh, you have
Okay.
something to share? Hold on to that one.
Okay.
I'm just going to mention one step to success. And I know there's a couple of people here that this is an example of, but I won't call them out. A step to success can be getting a really nice photo of yourself for LinkedIn or any other place where you need a bio. Really encourage people. And again, you don't have to pay someone. With a good phone, good lighting, it really can make a difference. So if you haven't done that yet, I encourage it. And kudos to those of you who worked on it this week. All right, I'm going to give a couple of give and asks, and then we're going to go to Javanka first afterward. All right, so here are mine. The Nova holiday party. We're getting to the end of this weekend. Will be the last chance to RSVP. We just need to know how much food to buy. We're really excited to have people. Last I looked, I have like 117 people for RSVP. So we hope not only did you RSVP, but you come. It's going to be a tremendous networking event. Also, just FYI, in the Sunday email, we are sending out a map on places to park because we know that is an issue at Nova, and they are beginning to ticket in the underground parking. So don't ever be there more than 2 hours. We've already had some Nova staff get ticketed. All right. We do not have any active recruitments this week. Nova has posted 2 job postings. If you might be interested, we have a job posting for a youth career advisor, and we have a job posting for an adult career advisor. So Vinny will put that in. Many of you are familiar with Albert's List. We are so lucky. He is going to be our first speaker in 2024, but he has offered a really nice networking opportunity to all of our members, which is, it's tonight, right? Am I right? No. Yeah, it's tonight. In case you can quickly get away, up in Burlingame, Albert's List is doing a big mixer. It will be huge. What a chance to meet people that you might not already know. And we get 75% off the ticket price of the networking. So I think it comes down to, what is it? Vinny, it's not very much money.
About $7.50 is what it
Yeah.
said up at $7.
$7.50. So that is something really exciting. The last thing that I have is CAM, Career Action Ministry. They bring in guest speakers once a month. They have their next speaker this Saturday, December 9th. Oh my gosh, how many of you are so double, triple, quadruple booked for this Saturday? I am. But CAM has a great topic. It's called Introverts Can Network Too. I love that. So if networking isn't naturally your jam and you need to pick up some new ideas, CAM's speaker could be great. Okay, so now let's hear from the rest of you that have something to share. Javanka, I'm going to you. Oh, you're unmute.
Okay, can I?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, I think it was back on the last slide, actually. It was not networking about this, but about the gains, that I got a job interview for next week through networking.
Music to my ears.
Yeah,
great.
so I saw a job posting and I went to LinkedIn and see who was working there. A previous coworker. We were not friends, but we respected each other professionally, and I sent her a message and she was gracious enough to submit my resume, and I got a call and I'm interviewing next week. We'll see what happens, but just want to encourage everyone to just keep doing, keep doing that. I went through a session this week through that Toastmaster that happens on on Tuesdays. And there was another speaker. She was very good speaker too. And the same thing about how difficult it is to get a job through cold applications to just, go through your connections. But anyway, just wanted to share that. Thanks.
Thank you. And Javanka, what I really liked about what you said is when you're networking, it doesn't have to be with your best buddies, right? It can be just people you worked with professionally. People are more willing to help than you might realize. So thank you. That's
Thanks.
great to hear. Let's go to Azar and then Tanya.
I thank you. It is a quite really nice performance and information that I received. But two things. Peggy was talking about the background of the video when we are doing the interview. I know that we can do the background. There are prepaid on the Microsoft, but maybe we need, I don't know how profoundly to do that. And the second question is, are we have access to the chats, all the information on the chat?
Probably take notes. You can download chat, but it depends on your computer capability. And Azar, we know a lot around backgrounds and the importance of different opportunities, for backgrounds, some paid, many free. Working in a virtual world is definitely the workshop you want to take. That one covers that topic.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, Tanya, go ahead.
Hi. Sorry that I joined so late. I had an interview today, and one thing that I wanted to ask was about, for example, my interview was about a data analyst and being a data analyst, but I had many questions in the interview about data science. So I was wondering if we could have in Nova, for example, a group of people who are looking for data analysis job, or they are data analysts, that we could discuss with each other to make sure what we should provide in different interview formats. That would be wonderful and helpful. This is what I got from my interview today.
Thank you, Tanya. There used to be a data analyst group going about 2 years ago, doing that exact thing, sharing intelligence, talking about interviews, what skills did they need to increase on. And that group all got jobs and it kind of flittered away. But put in the chat that you're interested and see if some other people are interested too. And that's a potential thing that could restart. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Fabulous.
I have a question on that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can we start the group now?
Which group are we referring to?
Data science or data analysis?
Science. Yeah, put your names in. It always, these groups, we have different groups going. There always has to be somebody who's willing to get it started and kind of set up the meetings and do that. But put names in chat if you're interested, and we can talk from there. So certainly. All right, just a reminder about success teams, December 12th. It's such a great way to keep yourself accountable, provide that structure that Ben talked about. So if you are interested in being in a success team, encourage you to go to the workshop on December 12th. We spend the last part of that workshop forming teams. All right. And I already talked about the holiday party. Do not forget, I want to see you all in person. All right, so Vinny's been setting up the networking groups. The first one, we are going to talk about this. What kind of presence do you project in an interview? Could you make any changes so that you could come across as confident, enthusiastic? This is going to be a great discussion in your group. And so Vinny will tell us when it's ready to go.
Ready to go. Sorry, I couldn't unmute as I was opening up the rooms and setting the time.
Yeah, I didn't catch the end of what Vinny was saying.
Me neither. I don't know if we're in the breakout group or in the.
Yeah, we're in the yeah, we are. She was just trying to do the logistics too.
Okay, so Jovanka, can you tell us what we're doing in the breakout group? Because I
I
must
don't,
have.
I missed that because I was talking to somebody here at home.
Oh,
So
but I was focusing and I didn't hear what it was. So
maybe we
Yeah,
can.
it sounds like we are charged with discussing how to improve our presence.
Oh, I see. That I misunderstood what she had said. Do you want to lead us, Corey, then? Because I think maybe I'm not the only one who didn't capture that.
I can try to.
Can you repeat
Try to
for
maybe organize. I see we have about 12 minutes left, and there are 10 people in the group. Maybe we can take turns, just spending about a minute introducing ourselves and suggesting some tasks we can do to try to improve our presence during interviews, especially.
Okay, so that was the task. Sure. Somehow I didn't hear that. Do you want to go first, or I can?
Please, ladies first. Go ahead, Belinda.
Okay, so I guess we're just presenting quickly what we think we can do to improve our presence. I already know. Oh wait, Sheridan just wrote something. What presence are you projecting in interviews? Is there anything you want to change? Yeah, so I have several things. I mean, I can see right now when I'm talking, my head, see how my head kind of goes to one side? Anyway, I've always had that. So I have a thing related to, it's my eyesight and my neck, but online on a video, I can tell that it's even more exaggerated. So I'm going to have to learn to change that. That is a deep change because it's a physical thing that I do related to my eyesight. The background is not okay because it looks like I have trees coming out of my ears. I need a new haircut because it looks raggedy shaggedy. I have glare off my glasses. So I know I can see all of that without anyone even telling me. And then interestingly, I have had 2 interviews recently. They were for what I call survival jobs. So in other words, not in my field, but jobs to help me keep my rent and pay for food. And even though I got quite, things mainly seemed to go well in the interview, I was not selected, and I went back into these 2 places because they're places I can walk into, and I see that they've hired, much younger people. So there's nothing I can do about that. And I know that often it's the cost of medical insurance that is making companies want to choose young people who are on their parents' plans, basically. But I know that I could smile more and speak less because I tend to over talk like I'm doing now. So on to someone else.
Yeah, we have 10 people. I don't think we can get them all. So if you really want to go, can you raise your hands so we'll know?
I believe we can probably fit everyone in. We just need to leave
No, we have 9 minutes.
about a minute or so.
Yeah, no, yeah, we don't. So go ahead, Carrie.
I haven't thought about the glare on my glasses, but I have some vision issues where I pretty much need to wear glasses or else my head's going to be turned in odd directions. It's very easy for me to talk with my hands, to gesture with my hands, but maybe I have to cut that
Okay.
It used to be that we only, after they closed, it was 30 seconds. And I don't know how we switched it.
I figured Zoom has some way of doing it because it shifts. Sometimes it's 30 and sometimes it's 60.
Welcome back. I hope you met some people you didn't know. And did you have an interesting conversation? Ideas on presents? I took away a couple of things from Peggy that I'm going to work on. So excellent. All right. I'm going to share my screen for just a moment to talk about what's happening next week. And then we'll do our last breakout group. Let me share my screen again. I just love being able to see you all. So I share my screen at the last minute. All right.
Question, ma'am.
Yeah, go ahead.
You mentioned something about a Albert's list. I kind of looked it up, and can you tell us, just tell me a little bit more about what this thing is?
Albert's List is a Facebook job search group. You can join it, it's free. But then they also have extra stuff. Sometimes they offer presentations, sometimes they offer networking. I think through there, maybe you could get coaching, it'll cost. But the things like just joining the group are free. Okay. All right, next week, very important to note, next week is our last connections for the year. We will resume the first week in January. We are bringing back Vera Fishman. She's going to kind of continue this topic around career confidence. And then we have some former NOVA members who got jobs in the last 6 months who are coming back to share their experience and how it's gone onboarding in with a new job. We're really excited about who we have coming. Because they're using their lunch to come, you'll notice we put them at 11:30. So next week, we are switching things up. We're going to use the first hour for the job search tip, give and ask, and networking. And then the last hour will be a half-hour presentations by Vera, and then that wonderful success stories panel. So I'm really excited about that. All right, we're going to go in. Oh, I guess I could have done this. Sorry. We're going to go into our second networking round. These will be bigger groups. Like the second one, we often like to do a job search check-in. It's December. How are you finding the job market? What's working? What could you change up? I just have to make this final pitch that December is the best time to network because it is a season of holidays and there is holiday traditions of sending greeting cards. It is the best way to keep in contact with former people, their friends or coworkers or anything like that. So this is the topic for round 2. At the end, you're welcome to come back in the main room, but after this, we will just close for today. All right, see you next week for the final connections for the year. Okay, Vinny's gonna.
All right, I'm gonna open up all the rooms. These are larger groups. As we said, just giving everyone an opportunity. So there's much larger groups. Please make sure you give everyone a chance to share, and it'll go on right till the end of the meeting. You can leave right after that. Here we go. Sheridan, I'll see you soon, okay?
Okay, take care.
Right.
Bye.
Bye.
Anyone having problem going into a breakout group?
Yes.
Okay, Christine, I'm going to try one thing, and then if that doesn't work, I've got a backup idea. So hang on here. Let's see. I switched rooms. Did that work? Aha. Virginia, how about for you? Anyone else? Julie, I know you've been having a lot of difficulties. David or Amy? Any difficulties? Okay, you're going. Okay. That's allowed.